Ze braken door een jaar of 3 geleden met het album High Violet. En daarvoor zei iedereen het ook al, dat ze doorbraken met het album The Boxer. Oftewel, succes op succes. En dat voor een band die al jarenlang trouw ploetert in de underground. The National is ineens een belangrijke band geworden die op de grote podia van de festivals staat. Ze zijn nu terug met een nieuw album, Trouble Will Find Me. Ik ben hier met gitarist Aaron Dessner en bassist Scott Devendorf. Guys, how are you doing?
Doing well. Thank you.
Let's start with you, Aaron. You toured the biggest album in your career yet. You produced a ton of other records. You did all kinds of projects with orchestras. You also became a father. And a new record for the National. You must be exhausted by now.
I definitely have hit a wall occasionally of exhaustion. I actually fainted twice on the plane over here from New York, which is surprising.
Like this week?
This week, yeah. But I don't know what that was. But I feel like when you're working, and I don't know, I don't really see the point of stopping working as long as you make time for the people in your life that you care about. Having a baby was inspiring. I didn't have the baby, my wife had the baby, but I was there. And I didn't have much to do. They sleep a lot in the beginning, so then it was kind of nice just to be working on music.
He's becoming more and more of a classic record producer, right? For you guys, but also for other people.
Yeah.
What are his tricks?
Oh,
does he have
we can't give those away. No,
he's channeling ideas, right, and energies between people. That's important.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, he's sort of like a musical psychologist, I think. He knows how hard it is to make records with us, and so I think it's kind of good for him to be able to see that other people have those same issues arise when they're trying to make songs, and being able to sort of like referee that sort of situation.
At album number 6, is it for the National? Is it just business as usual? Like you guys make the music, Matt delivers the lyrics, finished?
We enjoyed a lot of the process, even Matt. I think, and Matt more than me probably.
Even Matt, he's the one usually not enjoying it.
He has a lot of, for instance, he'll tell you he doesn't like touring, but I've seen him have the time of his life, performing. But I think there's just a kind of like psychic pressure of being up there in front of all these people, and also the pressure of writing lyrics is a lot, and he kind of has a very high standard. Whereas, if you're playing the guitar or something, you're playing a drum part and then like not really hearing it for 6 months and then hearing a final record, that's less pressure maybe than for him, where he's going to be judged for every word or something. So I think he puts a lot of pressure on himself. But this time I think we all enjoyed it for the most part, and it happened very naturally. And kind of, this is the first record in a while that kind of came to us in a relatively spontaneous, sort of free-flowing way, where I feel like it represents a lot of what we've done as a band in the past, but there's a lot of experimentation and new ideas. And yeah, it definitely feels like an accomplishment in some way.
About new ideas, I talked to Brian Eno once, who of course is a famous producer. He is famous also for channeling bands that have built a career and want to build from there. And he told me that he once taped the fingers of Chris Martin, because he saw the guy was always playing with 10 fingers. And he was trying to tell him, okay, try something else, try something easy, try to find one great idea, repeat it all over the song, which is one of his secrets. Like he does that in U2's The Joshua Tree. He does that with David Bowie's classic records. What is your philosophy? What is your thing that keeps on coming back in your songwriting?
I think in the National songwriting there are a lot. The main thing that I've done anyways for years and years is only to change one note at a time. And you'll hear it in probably 80% of National songs, which is maybe giving away the whole thing. But somehow that, to change, so chord voicings, that if you're just, the chords are just subtly changing all the time, one note at a time, as opposed to having a chord and then another chord that's doesn't share any of the same notes. For us, it seems to be something that Matt responds to, because a lot of collaborating with Matt as a singer, lyricist, he's very raw in a way, and he's very musical but unmusical, so if something is hard for him to relate to, he gives up pretty quickly. So yeah, I would say the Brian Eno trick is something that would be similar to the way sometimes we do intentionally make things quite simple on one level, but then give it a complexity in another way, whether it's through...
He doesn't want to know it all. He's like the wild animal, and you're the director. You guys are the director for him.
Yeah, and sometimes you have to trick him. A lot of times you have to trick him.
Just like a wild animal.
You're really like what?
Well, like, you just have to... It was funny, we say it's like a chess match sometimes, but sometimes you have to pretend to care about one thing that you actually don't care about, but you know he doesn't like that one thing, so you pretend to care about that one thing because you're protecting some other thing. So you give him the one thing that he has it out for that you don't care about, but then when he goes after the other thing you do care about, then you keep him off. But it sounds dramatic, and occasionally it is dramatic.
Of course, you do know his brother, right? Because the first song is about his brother. That's probably the same brother, Tom, that was with you on tour during the High Violet tour, right?
Yeah.
If I understand it well, he made a film about you as well. And in there it shows that it didn't really work out that way.
Ultimately, he made a film about their relationship and about just brothers and the creative struggle to make a movie. But it's more about Tom, and he's pretty compelling. He's like the
It's more about Tom than about you.
Definitely more about Tom. It's like he's a weird comedic hero of.
So he was fired. How can you fire a brother? That's a hard thing to do, right? you do realize that.
Yeah, I think it's just one of those things where it's like he didn't, I don't think, realize exactly what he had signed up for, and so when it didn't really work out, he kind of like had to just sort of stick to the filming and less to the working, because he was maybe being less helpful working than he was not working.
There's a lot of guests. It's almost like a hip hop album, like so many features. Saint Vincent is somewhere in there.
Mm-hmm.
Sufjan Stevens is in there somewhere. Of course, the lovely Sharon Van Etten. They are not allowed to shine. Like really, you have to search for them, right? That's really important for them to blend into the sound.
Yeah, I mean, we typically, when we're working with friends, collaborators, they tend to like support or become. We also, it's hard because when we're mixing, like their contributions are probably like sometimes 50 times more than it actually ends up being there, as is everything. We tend to layer a lot of stuff on, and so in the end, everything kind of fits into a sort of puzzle piece way. But it's like, we don't typically have like big duets or like, featuring Sharon, singing together. But you can't hear them because why not? They're great.
They are there. Yeah, they are there. Ze zijn er absoluut. Die mensen zoeken ze. Dat wordt een beetje de grote opgave bij het nieuwe album van The National. Het ligt nu in de winkel. Dankjewel, heren.